Alexander's destruction of Thebes was near total. All that he allowed to remain were the temples, the ancient Cadmea, and the house of the poet Pindar. The rest of the rebellious Greeks immediately surrendered, and Alexander could once again turn his gaze towards Persia. As was only natural before such a grand expedition, Alexander went to Delphi, seeking the wisdom of the god Apollo. When Alexander arrived, he was told that Apollo's priestess was absent from the temple, this being a day when prophecies were forbidden. But Alexander, believing that his will surpassed any sacred rules, marched to the priestess's quarters and began to drag her towards the temple, determined that she would tell him his fate. "My son!" exclaimed the terrified priestess. "You are unconquerable!" Satisfied with his boorishly acquired prophecy, Alexander crossed the Hellespont. Parmenion was waiting with the advance guard, but Alexander had more pressing matters. He proceeded to Troy, where he anointed the gravestone of Achilles with oil. He and his friends ran races around the tomb, as though they were the heroes of Homer's Iliad. The Persians had time for no such frivolities. They assembled their forces at the river Granicus, trusting in its steep banks and fast-flowing waters to deter Alexander's onslaught. Alexander gazed at the army arrayed against him, a host more numerous than any he had yet faced. The steeds of the Persian nobles strutting along the serried ranks, their riders eagerly watching for a glimpse of the invader they wished to slay. Upon a single charge across the Granicus, Alexander would stake the fate of his entire expedition.
The Persians hold a stout position and have the benefit of rest. Our men are tired from the march. Reconsider your assault, I urge you.
I did not cross the Hellespont to be waylaid by this puny stream. Form up. You will take the infantry on the left and center, while I shall lead the cavalry on the right, as befits a king's honor. I shall break the Persians' morale, so long as you do not flee first.
See how the foe deploys his troops, and arrange yours accordingly. Your cavalry charge will be for naught if the rest of the line crumbles.
Tiesti. Hetoimos. Oyeis.
Macedonians! Many of you served my father, who led you to victories against the warlike Thracians, the savage Illyrians, the hard-riding Scythians. Fine victories, but look at the host against whom I lead you today. The finest soldiers of the Persian Empire. How splendid their costumes! How lustrous their horses! How magnificent their banners! Have you ever seen so grand an army? Now think of the glory when you rout them today! Imagine the trophies you will hang above your hearths! Hear, ringing in your ears, the acclamation that you fought beside Alexander on the day of his greatest victory! Cry Zeus Soter and charge!
Here we go, lads! Kill their commanders and break their spirits! Seize that Persian command post! A command post is this? The satrap's brought half its wardrobe.
I see the sigil of Mithridates, son-in-law of King Darius. Let him face me, since his father will not. Sacred fires, thronged with chanting magi, exhorting the foe to greater feats. Douse their flames!
These golden trinkets are ours now. Persian field hospital! Seize it and stop them patching up their sickly conscripts.
Poultices, tourniquets, bandages. Patch yourselves up and get back in the fight.
They're horse pens. You know what to do with those, lad.
Run hard, you silver-maned stallions, like luminous comets through an ashen sky.
The Persian standards! Burn 'em, lads!
A section of the line is in trouble. The captain is dead.
Let the Persians see their banners burn. Turn those fine pigments black.
I smell cedar and frankincense. Another of the Persians' sacred pyres.
See, Persians! Your once mighty fires now reduced to sputtering embers.
Another brave captain lost. You must support the infantry, Alexander.
Another field hospital. There!
Into their baggage camp, like wolves in a henhouse.
If it's bleeding, staunch it. If it's dislocated, relocate it. Then get back on your horses and into the fray.
Thundering Zeus! How many veteran officers will we lose this day?
They are broken! By the 12 gods, I triumph!
Not yet. The Persians may have fled, but their Greek mercenaries remain, encamped in the hills at the rear.
What self-respecting Greek would serve the Persian king? I shall deal with these myself. Each company is to send me the man who most distinguished himself today. These will form my hunting party.
Tidele, nei ton dia, akuo.
Hard men, these Greek mercenaries. A blessing for us that the Persians were too distrustful to put them in the front line, but taking them out now will still be tough going. The ravine divides here. They're holding both paths. You take one group out, and the other will have to fall back before they're outflanked.
The others are retreating. Push on.
Assess the situation, lad, and choose your approach.
The day has been long, but do not slacken now, brave soldiers. I see your camp behind you, traitors. You cannot continue to fall back much longer. We have you cornered, Greeks. like hunters hemming in a growling boar.
Forgive us, Lord Alexander! Forgive us and spare our lives!
Mercy! The Persians never spared the Greeks of Ionia, whom I have liberated, nor the temples of Athens, whose destruction I shall avenge. I am a foe to the Mede, and you are his willing servants. A fine victory, Macedonians, and the first of many! Let Darius bear witness. I am not some marauder to be dealt with by his lackeys. I am King Alexander, and I lay claim to this realm.
Like the kings of Homer's Iliad, vying for glory in the foremost ranks, Macedonian monarchs led from the front, and few with such zeal as Alexander. At the Granicus, he plunged into the fray, as a famished wolf darts among a grazing flock, tearing at sheep and shepherd alike. But Alexander ventured too far, and a Persian horseman brought his sword swinging towards the king's neck. But Cleitus, lurching forward, sliced the Persian's arm from his shoulder. His first victory over the Mede in hand, and feeling just as invincible as the Pythian priestess had proclaimed him, Alexander marched on. His target was the coastal city of Halicarnassus, its grand harbor ringed by walls flecked with sea foam, where the great warrior queen Artemisia had once ruled. You see, Alexander had a rather unconventional plan to deal with the Persian navy. Rather than build a fleet and fight them at sea, he'd simply use his army to capture the Persian naval bases, one by one. The rightful queen of Halicarnassus was Ada II, a wise and learned woman, and a gracious benefactor of the temple at Delphi. But, deposed by her brother, Ada now languished in exile, until the arrival of Alexander presented her with an opportunity. The exiled queen welcomed Alexander, putting her wealth, her followers, and her considerable knowledge at his disposal. So splendidly did they get along, Ada even adopted Alexander as her own son. The siege of Halicarnassus, then, would be a family affair.
Halicarnassus, jewel of Ionia, now swarming with Persian rogues and their Greek mercenaries. Return my city to me, Alexander.
It will be so, I swear it. For a siege is no more than a battle of wills. The foe will come upon us with all the ferocity of desperate men, but if we shatter their strongholds, they will abandon the defenses.
Metaleo.
Ah, here we are. The armor of those mercenaries we executed at the Granicus, melted down as you ordered.
They come upon us like ants pouring from a nest.
Kangarmo. Hetoimo. Ergo. Akua. Ties. Oyeis. Alale. Tideles. Ite.
me Magadones!
Ne coronas, vai, ne tondia.
Eis palo! Prospalo! Ite andre! Icasomen!
Ne
Alalei!
tondia, vai.
Baino. Oikodomeo.
Your father was a masterful besieger.
Oikodomeo.
He knew that no two strongholds are alike. The methods by which you subdue one may not work for another. Just as a huntsman trains one dog by the whistle and another by the stick.
Or just as an adulterous one-eyed king seduces some women with gifts and others with false promises.
Oikodomeo.
Oikodomeo. Ne coronas.
There is a village nearby, Alexander. No doubt they despise the Persians' presence as much as I do. Perhaps they'd be willing to help.
Who are you? Persian? Greek? A Macedonian, you say? Gods give me strength. Whatever. Look, you replace the provisions those lice-ridden mercenaries nicked from us, and we'll make it worth your while.
A shepherd making demands of a king? Philip would not have entertained this.
Erchomai.
Is he not a marvel, Ada? I have never seen the like of it. People are drawn to Alexander like fawns to a stream.
He is the very image of Achilles. Godlike in countenance and a dread hunter in the clash of arms. You must watch over him, Hephaistion. Those villains treat the royal island as a warehouse for their arms. Half of them stolen, no doubt. Oikodomeo. Oikodomeo.
This was the city of Artemisia, wasn't it? Halicarnassus, home of the warrior queens.
I prefer you to the Persians already, let me tell you. Here, there's a way to get to one of those forts, a narrow pass, known only to us shepherds. We'll show you.
Your blood parents must be fine folk to have raised such a son.
Erchomai.
My father was a brute. My mother was a volatile snake charmer. More attentive to asps and vipers than her own brood.
Halicarnassus. I know her every street and avenue like the hands and heart of my own body. Every injury done to her I feel in my flesh.
Would that all the rulers in this world of dust and iron had such passion as you, Ada.
Remove these baneful arms from the royal island. Perhaps your soldiers might have use for them, or send them as an offering to Delphi, that Apollo might bless your future endeavors. Many times have I consulted at Delphi and never once had cause for regret.
Bears! Not the only den around here, if those half-eaten forages are anything to go by.
Heracles blesses this hunt. Skin the bears and look for more. We have the first breach. Saffron-robed Ennio, wall breaker. Your favor grants us victory.
Some mercenaries of our own might prove useful here. I have identified some suitable candidates, ferocious as they are unmannered.
A fine haul. Get those bear pelts cured and tanned. I wish to display them.
Here, Alexander, take these soldiers. They followed me willingly into exile, and they will fight like myrmidons to retake their home.
Come on, lads! The faster you push, the less time you have to spend getting shot at.
Get those battering rams forward!
The gates are shattered! Now bring down that fort!
Another fort crumbles! Pallas Athena sees our efforts and she rewards us richly.
Hungry beasts, these catapults. We'll need to bring in more ammunition. No doubt our foes will try to stop us.
My royal armorer will provide you with whatever you need.
You remember, Cleitus, how Philip would command the artillery? Stood like the straight-backed helmsman of a mighty galley, pointing out targets, directing the salvos, discerning every weakness.
More catapult shots have arrived. Protect that cart. It's all arranged. The gates have been opened and the fort sabotaged. Quickly, get inside and finish destroying it before our ploy is discovered.
Oi, moi. What will it take to make these men surrender? I shall rule over naught but rubble and rotting corpses.
When I seize the treasuries of Susa, you will have all you need to restore these fine walls. The walls empty. They flee to the harbor, crowding onto ships, bewailing their defeat. Queenada, retake your rightful place as ruler of this fine city.
So long did I pray for this, and then the gods sent you, Alexander. May you always be good to your friends, no matter how mighty you become.